This is a ceramic lesson for 2nd grade.
I can tell the difference between real and drawn textures. I can create artwork of my choice that express my ideas and experiments.
Today we're making clay turtles.
All right, to start the clay turtle, I'm going to start out with this brick and I'm going to push it into a ball. And then I'm going to kind of wave my hands around in a circle, kind of like a magic hand, we call that, like, ooh, like we're setting a spell on the clay. We kind of roll that around. As soon as I have a nice clay ball, I'm going to set that down and then wait for the next step. So the next step would be to take my thumb and press it into the clay, not all the way in, but enough for me to be able to hold it and be able to have it stay on my thumb. So when I pull my thumb out, you can see the hole goes in, but not all the way through the piece of clay. Once I have my hole pushed kind of inside of my clay, now I'm going to start using a pinching motion because we're making a pinch pot. So when I say pinch, what's happening is my fingers are going to be coming together like this. So I put my thumb right back in that hole and I do my first pinch. Just like I said, I pinched those two fingers, my fingers to my thumb. Now I'm going to turn the clay piece and pinch and turn and pinch and turn and pinch. Now I'm kind of back to the beginning and I'm able to get both of my fingers in now so I can kind of gently go around and pinch with both fingers, trying to turn it into a circle type shape. So it's kind of going to look like a little dome when I flip it over, and this is going to be our turtle shell. So now I'm just going to kind of pinch around very gently, kind of feeling the thickness of the clay with my fingers. If it feels like it's really thick in some places, I might give it a little bit harder of a pinch. And then every once in a while, I'm going to flip it over and give it a gentle tap, 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 because that will help kind of make a little flattened edge right down here. Okay, before we go any further, we're going to go ahead and take the wooden stick and write our initials or our name very clearly on the inside of what's going to become the turtle shell. So I'm making a B and a C, and I'm making sure that I can make those as clearly as possible, because when it comes out of the kiln, it's really hard to read whose is whose. I would also like you to put a 2L maybe on the other side, because this is 2nd grade Laska. If you're in another 2nd grade class, you would make a 2 and a different letter like a W or an S. So right now I'm making a 2L for 2nd grade Laska. This is going to be on the inside of the turtle shell. So you can see here, there's the initials, and there's the 2L, and you can very clearly read it right now. Next, I'm going to start forming the arms, the legs, the tail, and the head. So I'm just going to take and kind of rip off little pieces of clay and just squish them and move my hands around in kind of a circular motion to kind of try to make the shape that I'm wanting. So I'm just going to make a little turtle head here and figure that might fit like right on the front there. I'm not going to attach anything yet. Then I'm going to take a little bit for the tail. And I'm going to kind of pinch and push that. I kind of want that to be more of like a triangle shape. So I'm going to really pinch that back here and squish it to flatten it. And, okay, so there's a tail. And then I need to kind of make some pieces for the arms. And you can do either fins or you can do little kind of arms coming out just like that one. If you're doing more of a sea turtle, you might want to do some flippers. All right, I've kind of just laid the little legs right here and the tail and the head. And now I'm going to make a flipper, and I've kind of got two balls of clay that are about the same size. And I'm going to this time kind of roll it a little bit out like more of a coil. So it's like this, but I want it to bend, so I'm going to kind of gently bend it so it can be like a flipper of the turtle, and then I want to press it down so maybe it's kind of flat on the bottom and can sit down, and I'm going to pinch near the end so it gets a little bit thinner, so it kind of rounds around and is a little bit flat. So again, I took that clay ball, kind of made it into a little bit of like a coil, set it down next to kind of where I was thinking about it, gently curved it, flattened it out a little bit, and then I did kind of a pinch near the end to make it a little bit thinner. I'm going to flatten these pieces out that are going to attach to the body because our next step is going to be to slip and score all of these pieces on. So I'm kind of just pressing them down against the blue board I'm working on, just to kind of make a good surface for slipping and scoring. So I'm pinching this into the head. After I attach that, I might press down to add some legs, or means to add some eyes. Maybe down here I might add a little bit too. So I'm getting these surfaces flattened so that I can slip and score them on, which is what my next step will be. So I'm going to need a little cup of water, and I'm going to need that scoring stick next. All right, so now I'm going to work on the slipping and scoring of all of the different pieces that I need to attach. So I'm going to pick up the turtle shell, and right here's where I want the head to go. So I'm kind of making like a bunch of little tally marks all next to each other. And then I'm going to pick up the head, and where it's going to touch, I'm doing the same thing, making a bunch of tiny little tally marks. It's kind of like making Velcro so that those rough patches can kind of attach to each other. Now I take just a tiny dip of water, rub it over the top of that, rub it right over the top of that. Now I'm going to press these two together. Now I'm not going to press down and squish. I'm going to make sure my hand is inside of the turtle shell and press down that head. That way my turtle shell isn't going to cave in as I'm trying to attach. I'm going to use my finger and smooth that along right underneath here especially. I can smooth that line so now it looks like that head was already a part of that turtle shell. I'm going to flip over and I'm going to do the same thing for the tail. Scratch, 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 or score, score, score. Set that down. Score, 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 score right on the tail. Tiny bit of water on both parts. Make sure my hand is in here supporting so I don't concave in the shell. Push those together. Smooth them together with my thumb. I look under here. Oh, you can see that line. So I need to go ahead and smooth that with my finger, blend that clay together so it looks like that turtle always had that tail. So now it's really nice and smooth, and then I feel it. Oh, it doesn't wiggle right off. Good. Then I can go ahead and start attaching the arms and the legs in the same way. Everything that I'm going to attach, I need to slip and score on both sides. So I'm going to see that's going to go there. So I need to score, 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 score on that side, and score, score, score right here. Oops, sorry. And then I'm going to pick that up for support. Tiny bit of slip in there. Okay. Really press these two together. And start blending that clay by pushing it down. I can't just squash them together. I've also got to smooth the two pieces of clay together so that they blend. Those pieces of clay mesh together. There we go. I'm blending that. Nice. If it's cracking a tiny bit, I can use a little bit of water to kind of smooth things out. I can see over here the side of my head's kind of coming off. So I'm going to take my finger and smooth that crack. I'm going to check over here. Oh, I could have done a much better job of attaching that. Now maybe it won't come off now that I've taken some time and double checked that head. Really going around and smoothing it. And I'm going to do that for all the pieces of the turtle so that everything is securely attached. Okay, now that I have everything securely attached, I can take the end of the wooden stick here and just poke in and make a little eye like that and go over to the other side. I'm going to do the same thing. If I want the mouth to be open, I can just kind of wiggle. I just kind of push this and wiggle it right in so that the mouth of the turtle's just open just a little bit. Now you can see that. And then I can also start decorating on the shell. So if I want, I could do gentle with this pressing down. Now I don't want to press so hard that I wreck the shell. I should probably be supporting the shell as I'm doing this. So I could do gentle and kind of have polka dots going down the shell. Okay, I could also use this popsicle stick to gently press in to make like a rougher texture. So we're going to add real texture using whatever tool you choose, and you can kind of create your own turtle shell pattern using the wooden stick or the popsicle stick to add those textures. So I'm kind of doing my own pattern. I did a row of polka dots, a row of dots, and then a row of the popsicle stick, kind of just making that rough texture. So I'm just going to go ahead here and finish up decorating adding the texture, I should say, to my turtle shell here. And then as soon as I am done, I'm going to flip it over and make sure that my name is visible again. I'm going to kind of go back over those initials because as I was working, I kind of rubbed those out. So I'm going over the 2L again, and I am going over the BC, and then I'm just going to set it down and look at it and think, oh, that looks pretty good. I might take this and just kind of press it up to make some more texture, kind of like he's got some roughness in his flippers there. Okay, and that is how you make a clay turtle.